What's up, everybody? Here, Francisco, coming back with some ice videos. Thank you so much for checking out the content here on this YouTube channel, and thank you for supporting the team. What we have going on today, what I'm gonna be playing for you, is gonna be a very exciting format. Actually, this is a Time Spiral Remastered. This is a set that was built from the original Time Spiral sets, so it's basically like cards from all three of the sets. And something that's very special about this set is that we have over 100 cards that are just unique, and that they are simply, you can pick them, so you will see a bunch of cards for other sets with old borders, which look very cool. And they really affect gameplay. Actually, you can find stuff like Primeval Titan, True Name Nemesis, Remand, and all of these cards are very interesting. Besides that, you just have an insanely crazy set with a bunch of wild mechanics. We have Madness, we have Suspend, we have there's a Blink deck, there is a Sacrifice deck, there is a Saproling deck, there's like a bunch of different stuff. The format has been insanely fun for me. I've definitely hemorrhaged a significant amount of tickets because I've been having too much fun with it, but hopefully you will enjoy it as much as I have been. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this one, and don't be afraid to leave me some comments down below. So I'll see you there for the draft. Alright, here we go. This is what I was talking about. This is an old frame card. We have Leyline of the Void. Looks super great. But yeah, so you're gonna see all of these cards are completely wild. This is the card that I'm gonna pick. This card is pretty busted. It's basically Elish Norn. So 6 mana, 4/4. Other white creatures get +1/+1. Non-white creatures get -1/-1. And then you pay 2 life and you can return it to its owner's hand. So it's really tough to beat too. This guy is pretty powerful in mono white as well. 4 mana, 2/2, split second, flash flying, and it buffs all of your other white creatures. This card is very good in the mono white deck as well. Suspend. This is more with the suspend mechanic. Momentary Blink is great in the Blink deck. Then Primal Force Mage is a card that's super interesting with your with your suspend cards, because it buffs them on the turn that they come into play. So this card is pretty powerful. Then Slivers is one of the tribes in the format, so Slivers can be very powerful. This is one of the better Slivers. We're gonna go with Krovax though. And here we have, what we got here? Mangata of Corundor. I've never actually picked this one. It's basically a Vindicate. I think I'm gonna pick it just for fun. I've never actually played with this card besides in Legacy. I did play with it in Legacy, but so it's basically a removal for like any permanent, which is pretty nice. And if we find some blink effects, you can put the ability on the stack and then blink it. There's also a 2 mana Lion that you can flash in, so I think I'm gonna go with the Mangara. Other cards that I'm looking at, of course, Lightning Axe and Sudden Shock, great removal, definitely premium removal. Benelish Cavalry, just a 2 mana flanking. This ability is messed up. Like it's a lot better than you think it is, and it really rewards you from attacking. So usually whenever you have some flanking going on, you want to be playing an aggressive deck. Very powerful. This card is a lot better than it seemed. I originally didn't value it this highly, but it's very good because black has a lot of madness, and this is one of the best enablers because you can discard the cards to give it shadow. We're gonna go with the rare though. See how things work out. Ooh, this guy is sick. This guy really messes up everything. Another thing is that this is a rebel, so there are a 2 mana card that can go fetch rebels, which is very powerful, and we can find this one. This seems super innocuous, but just like taking 2 power from any of your opponent creatures, it's a lot better than it seems like, that it looks like, because the threat of activation is such a big deal. So we're definitely going to be picking the Saltfield Recluse here. Average Giant, again, as I was saying, is a great card as well. Assassinate is just medium removal spell. This card is weird. Like, I've had this card be insane, and also have had this card be completely unplayable. This one is consistently very good though. So is this one. This is a Thalet, as I was saying. They have this mechanic where they get spore counters every turn, and then you can like make 1/1 sapling tokens. This one also does it, and some of these actually have other abilities whenever you stack saplings. This is pretty good. And Riftbolt is also super premium removal spell, but we're gonna go with staying in mono white for now. And since we're staying in mono white, this is effectively a removal spell as well. So 2 mana, flash. It's an enchantment, and enchanted creature has shadow, and you prevent all damage that will be dealt by this creature. So you're effectively removing, just making the creature obsolete. So I think this is gonna, well, the card that we're gonna be picking. We are looking pretty solid to be in mono white. This is a very solid removal spell. So the fact that this is still the pack as pick 4 probably is gonna be good news for us. Hopefully we can wheel some of the Ivory Giants that we've seen. This card is great. It comes down, it taps all of your opponent's creatures, and then of course if you're playing mono white, all of your creatures are free to attack, and you get to like swing and kill them. Angel's Grace is terrible. Trinket Mage is like the old frame card. But yeah, let's go with Temporal Isolation for now. Even Mind Sensor. Not a great pack for us. We could just take the Mind Sensor effectively as a 3 mana 2/1 flash flyer. I'm not particularly excited about it. It does get buffed by the Krovax. So maybe I will just take this. We also continue to aggressively cut white, which is kind of nice. What other cards do I like here? This is good only if you have a bunch of suspend cards. It's not particularly great by itself, really. 4C is fine. It's just playable, but it's not particularly incredible. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna go with Mind Sensor. It's just a flyer, basically. This is not looking good here. We could just have this as an early drop. Again, it's a rebel. There's a ton of value in having access to rebels because of what I was saying earlier, that there's cards that just, go fetch rebels. This is definitely one of the weakest ones. Alternatively, we can have this 5 mana 3/3 flyer that whenever it's untapped, it gets bigger. Both of them are pretty bad, honestly. Maybe I can just take this this card. Like, this is probably the best card in the pack anyway. And we can move to green-white if we have to. That's definitely a speculative pick there. I mean, there's literally nothing for us here, so I guess that we got kind of rewarded for pivoting there. I don't even know what all of these cards do. What is this? Also does have 1 sacrifices permanent with 1 damage to any target. All silvers have sacrifices permanent, prevent the next 1 damage that will be dealt to a creature, player, planeswalker, or sliver creature this turn. Doesn't seem particularly great. Penumbra Spider is actually not bad. So we can play this kind of like a defensive threat while we beat down in the air with our creatures. Sure. We're kind of pivoting a little bit towards green. This card, I have no idea how to evaluate. I've played against this card and it's been insane. I've played against this card and it's been absolutely embarrassing. Literally just like 2 mana, scry 3. And I think I'm gonna take the Dust Wasp. This card is actually legit. So it's basically you suspend it for 2 mana and then it's a 3/3 flyer. So evasive threat. Love to see it. This is an extremely late Strangling Suit. This I consider to be a premium removal spell. So I'm super surprised to see it this late. All right, we did wheel the Ivory Giant, which is good for us. We also found an Ambrose Seekers. This card again has the ability of being a rebel. So, this is interesting. Evasive threat, that's a rebel versus Ivory Giant, which is overall probably more powerful. I think I'm going to try to hedge towards being in rebels. It would need to be mono white rebels, kind of, though. Here we're going to take the white card. Again, I'm not sure I'm playing green just yet. I'm definitely playing white. But I'm still not sure that I'm going to be playing green. And here I'm just going to take the 2/2 flanking. don't think there's anything else that's particularly important. Like Return to Dust is interesting. Usually the only artifact or enchantment that I've seen that is particularly relevant has been this kind of removal spell, which there are a couple of. So, oof, this is super late. Like, this card is pretty nutty in this kind of deck. I think I'm gonna go with Average Giant here. It's better in mono white, but this is better if we want to pivot and we do want to play our green cards. This wheeling is good news for us, though. I guess I'm gonna go with the Giant. I'm still trying to, yeah, I'm still trying to play mono white if I can. Sure. This is just a bad removal spell again, like what I was saying regarding the enchantments. Gonna hope to not play that. Castle Raptors, and this is just a bad. This card's not very good. First back is okay. Nothing to write home about, but it could have been worse. This card is messed up. It's basically a Mazovith onto a 3/5 Vigilance. This card is completely ridiculous. I played with this card once, and it really is a lot better than it looks like, and it looks very good too. So you can only imagine how good it is. This card is actually great in a monocolor deck. Like the fixing in this format is overall pretty bad, but in mono white, this card is just fine. This is really expensive, but I guess you'd play it. Removal. I don't think this is what I want to be doing. Not with the cards that I have so far. So I think it's going to be between Salt Blast and Urza's Factory here. Again, still not sure that we're playing green. And I definitely don't want another Mind Sensor. This is really inefficient removal. Yeah, not particularly excited about that. This is pretty solid though. Ooh, Ponder is also a significant amount of tickets in Magic Online. let me see real quick. It's very important whenever you're drafting. You have to make sure that you have. Yeah, so Ponder is 6 tickets on MTGO. But this is a competitive video, okay? So no rare drafting allowed here. But somebody's gonna be pretty happy that I'm gonna be passing them a Ponder. This card is good. This card is also pretty good. We have a higher chance of wheeling this, but I still really doubt that we're gonna wheel either. Oh, one interesting thing that I wanted to point out is that all of these effects pump both yours and your opponent's creatures. This is the templating that we had before. So you're gonna randomly be pumping your opponent's creatures. Like the mono white mirror. The other day I drafted a mono white deck, and the mono white mirror was one of my losses because I had all of these things that pumped white creatures, and then my opponent was also playing white. So I was pumping my opponent's creatures, and it was just an absolute disaster. What do we got here? Sunlance is actually a pretty solid cyber card whenever you're not playing against white. It's okay otherwise. Wrathy Trapper is great in the Rebels deck. Like this card is super good in the Rebels deck. I think I'm gonna go with Keen Sense here. I have not drafted with this card yet, and we have a ton of evasive creatures. Just white kind of by design has a bunch of evasive creatures. We also have like the Wasp. Yeah, sure. I'm down to experiment with some Keen Sense. All right. This is the card that I was talking about, White Mane Lion. We have the combo with Mangara here. Love to see it. Ooh, but Ancient is... This is one of the very good... one of the great payoffs of playing with these dudes, like with the Saproling dudes, because it basically gives you a third of a Saproling, because all of your dudes that make tokens have the ability to make tokens only using 2 spore counters. Sudden Death is one of the best removal spells in the format. I think I'm gonna go with White Mane Lion here. It is not unlikely for us to wheel this, but with the Mangara, like we just have to go for the Lion, right? I'm not drafting this format to not have sweet, sweet combos going on in my deck. Bounding Silence, Great Removal. Wow, another Sudden Death. The Black Drafter, whoever they are, they're gonna be really, really happy with how this draft is going for them. But Bounding Silence is the best card for us. One important thing is that this is a tribal enchantment, and it's a rebel. So if we do find one of the rebels, searches, we can actually go into our deck and we can find a removal spell, which is insanely powerful. But yeah, Bounding Silence is going to be the pickup here. Nothing else I'm really looking at. We have this card, which I've not been impressed with, but it seems like an okay combat trick with the flashback being white. And this is one of the better Thallets, in my opinion. It comes back super early, and then it just makes blocking a nightmare. So definitely interesting to see this. What do we got here? Knight of Circe, I guess. Another evasive threat to go with our Keen Sense. Periphery Knots is not bad, but we are gonna be the deck with the small creatures, so it doesn't really work particularly well. They want to take the knight. This is one of the better slivers. So this basically tells me that slivers is pretty open. I've only drafted for 5-color slivers once. Usually the slivers are slanted towards Naya. So if you want to go towards the sliver side of things, you want to be playing stuff like Edge of Autumn and Search for Tomorrow, and you want to be in Naya colors. But Knight of Circe should be good for us. Not particularly upset about that one. We have another one of these. Clockwork Hydra is a super weird card. I still have no idea how good or bad this card is. I've seen it in play a couple of times. I've never played with it myself, but I've seen it in play a couple of times, and I think I beat it every single time, so I'm not certain that this is good. I think I'm just gonna go with another one of these dudes. It's basically bad ramp. It turns all of our saplings into bad ramp. So sure. Evolution Charm is also interesting, but I think this guy's gonna be better for us. What do we got here? Another Sandlands. This is the last pack. Probably gonna go with Ambrose Seekers. Again, I'm super into the whole Keen Sense thing. I definitely would like to have access to Sandlands. I'm kind of trying to make sure that our curve works. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this. Pretty unfortunate, honestly, that we have not been able to find anything. Another Mind Sensor, maybe? Just as a 2-1 flyer. The problem is that there are a lot of ping effects in this format. There's the Pyromancer, which is a really, really powerful card. Reckless Worm is also really powerful. There's not that many payoffs for Madness in red, and this is a very, very good one. If you can go turn 2 Looter Ecor into turn 3 Reckless Worm, you're kind of living the dream. Strength in numbers is probably the pick here. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have enough stuff to be mono white, honestly. And it seems like green. I don't want to say that it's open, but it's like okay. Strength in number kind of works with our Sapperling theme that we kind of have going on. Sure, let's pick up a Sunlance. Cabo Primarch is not bad, but I think I'd rather have access to the Sunlance instead. Judge and Worthy, hoping to not play this, but I will if I have to. This is fixing. These lands are not very good in my opinion. But I guess I do have a solid amount of like 5 or 6 drops, so. And this is just cards that I'm not gonna be playing. What are we looking like? It's not looking particularly powerful for us. I would love to find one of the rebels. I would love to see more white main lions to go with our Mangara. Those are the things I'm looking for right now. Banishing Light is premium removal for us. Yeah, this is a very good pickup. Nothing else really in this pack, however. Stuffy Doll, I've been not particularly impressed by. This card is like a very, very volatile Gravedigger. Like if you have a bunch of the 3/1s that I was talking about earlier and you can discard it at will, basically, this card can be really, really kind of feel pretty busted. Like a 2-mana 2/2 that draws you a card is huge, but again, it can be pretty tough to get your madness synergies together. Yeah. Maybe we will Mana Tide. I'm not even sure I would play Mana Tide, but yeah, 100% Vanishing Light here. Okay. This is another one of the dudes that buffs our white creatures. This is unfortunately the the Rebel Searcher that we were not looking for. So this is the Rebel color pair is black and white, and this is the other Rebel that searches. So it's a 2-mana 1/1 that you tap and you make a player lose a life. The white one is a 2-mana 2/1 that has the same ability for 4 mana. That's the one that we're looking for here. Unfortunately, we're not really looking to be black, so just gonna take a second copy of Celestial Crusader, and I'm not upset about that. That's a pretty good one, for a pretty good pickup for us. Another Bounding Silence is cool. We're doing pretty well with removal so far. Pact of Negation. If you if you want to build Amulet right now, is a good time. Like all of the pacts got reprinted. Primeval Titan. You can find the old frame. Good time to be building Amulet right now. Should be pretty cheap. But yeah, we're gonna get Bounding Silence here. There's an argument for taking the Cavalry. The issue that I have with this card is that it's not a Rebel, so it's not great. But yeah, we're looking really good in terms of removal now. And speaking of removal, this guy is basically removal. This one is a Rebel, which is a very important creature type right here in this format. 2-mana 1/1, and you tap it, and you tap a creature with toughness 2 or less. It's very powerful. Again, like this kind of effects are a lot more powerful that I originally gave credit to, and because they just look kind of clunky and kind of silly, right? But they can be super messed up whenever you're trying to set up lethal, and you instead you tap a couple of the creatures and then you turn around and you just kill them straight up. So yeah, we're gonna pick the Errant Doomsayers. Nothing else that we're looking for in this pack. I guess if we wheel these, that's great, but at the same time it's kind of whatever. We are getting a reasonable amount of white cards here, I have to say, so maybe we can live the dream of playing mono white. Shade of Trokair, pretty solid in mono white actually. So you suspend it on turn 1, and it's again like all of these cards have the big power is the threat of activation, right? Like you attack, your opponent can't really block it, because this can be like, if you have 3 white sources, this can be up to I don't know, like a 4/5 or 5/6 or whatever. So you attack, if they can't really block it, and then if they don't do anything, they don't block, sweet, like you just play something else, you use your mana a different way. But like the threat of activation can be super important. Yeah, Shade of Trokair it is. Another Amorosi. Oh yeah, another lion to go with our Mangara. All right, at this point I'm kind of feeling like we may be able to make mono white happen here. How is this looking? Not looking half bad, if you ask me. Okay. Yeah, let's be mono white. Another Templar Isolation. Yeah, we're doing so well in terms of removal. Like, we don't even have to play these Sunlands, because all of this card is just better, particularly game 1. Because if you get paired against we're really playing mono white with the Flagstone. I guess I'm even picking it here for value. Yeah, let's go. Mana Tithe. Maybe not playing this, but I guess I'll take it. Another one of these. Very unfortunate that we did not manage to find any of the Rebel Seekers. Our curve is not looking amazing, particularly because White Mane Lion is not really a 2-drop, right? Like this is mostly a combat trick. It doesn't really do too much if you don't have something else on board. I think we still want 2 copies because like the interaction with Mangara is just insane, right? So the way this goes is you put the ability on the stack and then you hold priority and then you use White Mane Lion to bounce your Mangara with its ability on the stack. So it doesn't exile itself, but it targets the permanent. So it actually does exile whatever you want. So should be pretty solid. Should be pretty solid. Probably not playing Salt Blast. It's just too bad of a removal spell. Wow. This card is really good. So the trick here, of course, is you have a 3 mana -3/-3, which is a sorcery, or you can cycle this and you can pay the madness cost because you're discarding it from your hand. So the idea is that it's a 6 mana instant speed -3/-3. So whenever you get to do that, you feel like $1,000,000. It's great. Wow, no respect for the Reckless Worm. No respect for the Reckless Worm. At this point, like, it's just nothing. Like, this is a white card. We're probably not even cyberling that in. Okay. As it is, we have a bunch of creatures with Crovax and double Celestial Crusader. So that seems pretty solid to me. We have a bunch of removal spells, and we have like pretty high quality removal spells. Bounding Silence ×2, Banishing Light, and Temporal Isolation ×2. Then we have... Our curve is not the best curve I've ever seen. I'll say as much. I don't think I want to play this Blade of the Sixth Pride though. This is a removal spell that I'm probably going to be bringing in if I do find myself in a situation where we're playing against an aggressive deck, like for example, because like one of the things that we're going to struggle against is something like what's the name of the Pyromancer? It's like Tim, but it's the time shifted version because it's red. So instead of being what's the name of the Pyromancer card? I don't know. Well, like 2 red and it's a 1/1 that it taps to ping something to deal 1 damage to any target. And that's probably bad news for us with a bunch of X and 1s. Yeah, I mean, besides that, our deck looks not bad, if I'm being honest. Let's combine groups. But like the cool thing is that we do have some staying power thanks to the Celestial Crusaders and the Crovax. So I'm thinking that this is gonna be a pretty cool draft. One thing that I always recommend everybody who drafts, be it Magic Online or Magic Arena, you want to take a picture of your, just like a print screen of your draft deck. What this does is while you're drafting, you can have this print screen on your side. So if you find yourself in a situation where like, oh, okay, so what are my outs or whatever, you can literally look to your right. Like if you have a second monitor, you can put it on your right, or you can, just like have it in your screen and just minimize it. So, what are my outs, like whatever, and you just open up the thing and you can see what they are. All right, so I'll see you for round number 1. All right, here we are for round number 1 of this time spiral draft. Sure. Skip this hand. We are on the draw, but let me put this in here. So we have the... Oh no, please don't tell me we're playing a mirror match. Alright, so we're not playing a mirror. Ivory Giant doesn't tap anything. Ivory Giant doesn't tap anything. Crovax doesn't do anything either. This buffs my opponent's creatures. Would be absolute nonsense. Can tap my opponent's dude, which is nice. Also, this is not unblockable. My opponent just can easily block this. Oh man, brutal. Just tap this. Notably, this says can we look at artifact creatures and or white creatures. So that's something to keep in mind there. I think I'm attacking here. Let's play another one. We can use the Doomsayer to keep my opponent's creatures under control over there. And then next turn we can actually swing for 8. Should be a solid deal. It's interesting that this actually cares about toughness. Like that's what has been so fun about this format so far for me, is that like all of these cards are kind of ridiculous. Like these cards are super ridiculous. Like usually whenever you tap, like your tappers don't care about toughness, because kind of why would they? Oh wow, punished. All right, so my opponent has an Ephemeron, which is this is very good. Oof, not half bad. Well, my opponent can't block here, but I'm just gonna have to bump and swing for 6, and then next turn we can swing for even more thanks to Krovax. It's looking good, and my opponent kind of like this card is solid, right? But you don't want to be flipping this card. Like the flip cost, of course, the morph course is to return 2 islands to their owner's hand. So you don't want to be, you know, doing this on turn like 3. You know, you want to be doing this on turn 8 or something. Whenever like the 2 creatures coming back doesn't hurt you that much, but because now my opponent is like super far behind on land drops. Like yeah, sure, like they have a bunch of cards in hand, but they just don't have enough time to deploy all of their cards. There's no way my opponent serves here, right? Literal no way. Wow, just like that, huh? You don't even want to see the Krovax. I'll take it. Well, my opponent's playing white, so that makes things a little bit awkward for our deck. But that's fine. That's fine. No big deal. Just submit again. Definitely don't want Sunlands. Maybe Mana Tides. But on the draw, just Mana Tide, that doesn't really make too much sense. You want to be casting Mana Tide whenever you're, you know, you are the one getting ahead and then you're using 1 mana to counter your opponent's like 5 mana stuff or whatever. Mana Tide in a format with suspend is not so good. Like sometimes it's good though. Like sometimes you really get them, but I don't know. The card that's been really busted, like I made like 10 drafts so far, and I think I only got 2 trophies only, but like the second trophy that I got, which was this past weekend, was just insane. I had a blue-white deck with double Thraben Inspector, double Remand, Ninja of the Deep Powers. It was an absolute delight. It was an absolute delight. It was amazing. And Remand is really good in a format with Suspend. Remand is really, really good against the Suspend cards. Because like you're just not happy to play this for 7 mana, right? Like you're suspending this like 95% of the time. So whenever you get your Ivory Giant remanded, yikes, big yikes. But yeah, this round, by the way, one thing that I didn't know in the beginning is that it's only 12 tickets to draft. Usually whenever we have Modern Horizons, like you've already seen me draft in this website, in this YouTube channel for the ice folks, Modern Horizons was like 24 tickets I think to draft or whatever, so I assumed whenever I heard about Time Spiral that it was going to be the same. Combo. Yeah, I'm never shipping this hand. But no, actually only 12 tickets to draft. So I've been wasting many tickets. Been throwing many tickets down the drain. And not regretting it for a second. Let me be clear. Not regretting it for a second. 2 mana to 2. Alright. Alright. I think... Am I doing this? It feels so bad though. The next turn we're getting hit by the shade. I think I kind of have to do this just to use my mana efficiently. Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Yeah, not gonna block that one. Thank you very much. We can do it at instant speed. Broken. Broken. Gonna cast the shade. Looking good, looking pretty good. Serve. So I think I want to do this right now while my opponent stepped out, so probably want to exile the shade. So Mangara, exile shade, trigger on the stack, white main lion, bounce. Boom! Boom! Love to see it. Errant Ephemerum, don't worry about it. Mangara's got it. Mangara's got us covered. Let's see if my opponent has any form of counter magic. Seems like nothing. They did show me Piracy Charm. So I can deny the scry here if I want to. Seems worth it, right? Interesting that they did this post damage. So we effectively counter the Judge Unworthy. Sure, we basically denied ourselves the combo, but it seems fine. Seems fine to me. If we draw land here, we get sup. Sup. Alright, Lions, get in there. Deck is kind of busted, I'm not gonna lie. See you for round number 2. Welcome to round number 2 with our busted mono white deck. It's not busted. Of course, the best thing about streaming is that one gets to use hyperbole a lot, so sure, let's do this. Also, by the way, I just wanted to point out the fact that if you are enjoying the content, you can subscribe to this channel. I do make 2 videos every single week for this website, for Ice Team, and so does DC, which you may be familiar with, DC MTG. popular fellow streamer and TikTok sensation. What are we doing here? Probably Emerald Seekers. It's interesting that Mind Sensor kind of messes up with my opponents if they're playing Rebels. Mind Sensor kind of messes with that. This is a 3-mana 2/3. 3-mana 2/3 that basically lasts 3 turns. But I'm losing the race, so I think I want to play defensively here. Also, my opponent did not use their mana whatsoever that previous turn, which is probably good for me. What is this? 5 mana 4/4, 2 exile it, create a 1/2 black bat with flying. It has 2 sacrifices creature, return an exile card named Singer Nosferatu to the battlefield under its owner's control. Yikes! Big yikes. On the turn where they can't hold up it, they can hold up the. You love to see it. You love to see it. I am doing it pre-combat because yeah, if they tap me, they can't tap the other one, right? So at least I can get in there for 2 points of damage. So unless they have a lion here, which they could, they don't. Okay, sweet. So we don't have to worry about the Rift Watcher anymore. 3 mana Umbro Seekers. Sure. That seems great for us. Like, we don't even need to use this temporal isolation. We could save this Mind Sensor if we wanted to. We can also just play these Castle Raptors. We haven't really drawn Mangara yet, so I kind of want to save this White Mane Lion for that, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, what do we got here? 6 mana is a lot in this format. Gurmaganaler. That could have been worse. Literally have the answer for it on board. So that's solid. Playing black and white. So I'm not particularly afraid of anything. All of this time I could have stopped this thing from doing anything, but I honestly kind of don't care. We can get in for 3 points, then they get in for 2. Alternatively, I can play White Mane Lion and trade. I think I'm going to use this turn to Temporal Isolation. Because there's no reason for me to trade when I have this Soulfield Recluse just chilling here. Like, this card is going to mess up my opponent so badly. 2 can play the Temporal Isolation game, my friend. I could have blocked if I wanted to. That's cute. Because they both have Shadow. Alright, sweet. Now we start beating down. My opponent wants to attack, they can. Don't care too much about it. My opponent has drawn a lot more lands than I have, though. Oops! Oh no, that's fine. Mind Sensor, you. Spend this school. Now we get to do this. Fizzles the ability. We get to get in there for a bunch. Boom, boom, boom. Big booms. Honestly, this game would have been very, very different. -2, thank you very much. This card is so messed up. Like, it really, it looks so innocuous. I was so impressed the first time that I played with this. I was so impressed. But it's just like your opponent can't do anything about it. Like, they have to kill it, but it's just so innocuous. It just sits there, and then whenever they do something, boom. Like, that Banishing Light was huge, of course, right? Like, I don't think that it's particularly surprising that that was the case. That was just an insane top deck. We probably want Salt Blast. No, and this card is just so bad. And they can just sacrifice the vampire in response. Yikes. Is there anything that I don't want? I don't think so. Definitely I'm not excited about the Seekers, right? Not excited at all about these cards. But at the same time, like, what am I bringing in, right? Really expensive removal is gonna be awkward. Yeah, I guess I'd rather do that. Like, the vampires seems like the only possible way that my opponent can beat me is if they stick the vampire. So having double the answers on the turn after my opponent plays it is probably worth it. Like, I'm not happy about it, but like the Amber Seekers are just kind of bad in the matchup. My opponent has a bunch of ways to stop it. This card's pretty good too. Been liking it a fair amount. Oh, this Mind Sensor is gonna be dope. 3. Oh, yikes! They have their own Magara. Sick. Just gonna main phase it. If my opponent wants to activate Mangara in order to use Black Speaker, I think that's fine with me. But the problem is if I try to get a little bit cheeky with this and my opponent just messes me up, it's just not a great deal. Just passing back the turn. Morph. I don't think I saw any morphs the previous game. Definitely getting in there though. And now do I want to play Amuro Seekers or do I want to play Benedict Cavalry? I think I want to play the Seekers. It's a little bit more mana efficient. This guy's pretty good. This guy's pretty good. Big fan of the Blight Speaker. Just sits there, cheaps down, turn after turn. It's pretty solid. It's too bad that all of these removal spells don't really affect creatures with activated abilities. And the best creatures are precisely the ones that have activated abilities, as we're seeing right now. So it is a little bit unfortunate that that's the case. With everything, you could have the lion. You could have the lion to go with the Magara. All right, look at the top 4. Did we get him? Did we get him? Please. Oh man! Wow, they got the best one even. Brutal. That is brutal. Sure. I think I'm just going to Celestial Crusader on end step so that I can untap and Crovax. I think that's fine. Maybe that means that I should have attacked. I should have done this on attacks. Maybe I got a little bit cute there. Wait. Oh, they misclicked. Big yikes. Big yikes. That's brutal. Well, here goes nothing. Flash combo. I literally never seen this card. 8 mana, 5/5 flying. When it enters the battlefield, prevent the next 5 damage that will be dealt this turn to any number of targets divided as you choose. So I'm just going to temporarily isolate that. Oh. No 6/6 for you, and no blocking either. Take 5. It should be 5, right? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 6. I miscounted. All right. Throw the cavalry in there as well. There's only one sweeper in the format, which is Damnation, which my opponent could have. They're playing black after all, but I doubt it that they're Angel of Salvation. Nah, I mean they could be playing Damnation actually. It's not like ridiculously crazy for them to be playing Damnation actually. What the hell is that morph? I really want to know what's that morph. There are a couple of cards in the format that are just like universal basically. So maybe there's a 3 red card. It's 3 red and it's a 3/3 and it has morph, and the morph cost is to discard the card. So that's basically a colorless morph, and it gets +3. Yeah, no, +2/+2. So it becomes a 5/5 whenever you're hellbent. So it could be that my opponent has that. So do we want to play around that? This stops here. I mean, I just have to go for lethal, right? Ah, it was exactly the card that I was talking about. Yeah, so I was just gonna Bound in Silence, and then we could have gone for lethal because my opponent can't both tap the Mind Sensor and block my Amorous Seekers. So at least 2 of my creatures are getting through, and my opponent's at 4. So yeah, our deck. I'm starting to feel like our deck is just very good. I'll see you for the last round. Welcome to the last round. Yeah, there's no way I'm shipping this. Our deck is looking pretty sick so far. Not gonna lie. Our deck is looking pretty sick. That sucks. It's not the end of the world, but maybe I should have played this first. Yikes. Alright. So my opponent is playing blue-black mono removal. drops. Mind sensor, okay. Mystical teachings. That's messed up. My opponent is doing over there. It's messed up. So they're just playing blue-black control with teachings. I tried playing a Grixis version of this deck once, and it was insane amounts of fun. Strongly recommend it. 5 mana for Aeon Chronicler. Damn. Would have been awesome to draw this the turn before the teachings. I guess it is what it is. The good thing, we can at least Bounding Silence that. I don't know how many, but this card is very, very powerful. It's your casual 7/7, no big deal. Just your casual 7/7. We're not looking good right here. We are not looking good. Mana Tithe is coming in 100%. I think I'm valuing this Mind Sensor rather highly because of the teachings in my opponent's graveyard. So I'm not gonna attack because my opponent has the Transmuter that they have access to. So I think we just chill here. Transmuter, it's all good and everything. Triple Tendrils of Corruption is not bad. It's not half bad. I really don't want to block. Not with Krovax in my deck. I think we just have to take it. We can Bounding Silence. Probably the other thing. Oh my god. Flooding a little bit too much here, unfortunately. This means that my opponent's gonna have to discard the card in order to keep this. Hopefully they don't have, yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully they don't have like a way to get value from, I don't know, something like something with Madness basically, or with Flashback. You do have a teachings, like I really value this Mind Sensor highly right now. I have to attack them though. Like the longer the game goes, the worse it gets for me. So if they have another one of these, we're super dead now. Because they can change the power and toughness of itself. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna pack it in. That was brutal. We just flooded a little bit too much, unfortunately for us. I think we want Mana Tithe, and I think we want Sunless as well. Mind Sensor looks fine. This card actually looks fine as well. On the like, I kind of want to shave a land, but I don't think I want to do that on the play. Maybe we should do that on the draw. Cut the Castle Raptors. Let's shave one. This may be me just being stupid. This may be just me being stupid, but I feel like pound for pound, our opponent's cards are just better than ours. So we have to curve out basically and stop my opponent, like preventing them from keeping up with us. We're not going to be able to beat their card advantage, so we're just going to have to get a little bit luckier and just hit all land drops naturally, but not flood, basically. Tall ask. Tall ask. Too bad. Too bad Mangara didn't cut it there. I got excited when I naturally drew the oh man. How am I gonna keep this hand? It hurts. It hurts. But I think like both of these cards are just excellent in the matchup. And I really wish I mean that's the issue with our deck, right? Like we're not doing too hot in terms of 3-drops. In terms of 2-drops, I mean. They have suit. Okay. Okay. Alright, so we're doing the thing. We're doing the thing. Please draw a lion. Yes. Alright, so we're gonna get rid of their island. Lion in response. Bounce. No more island for you. Redeploy Mangara. That's sick. No! They have so many tendrils of corruption. Oh my god. Man, that's what we needed to not happen. Just some dead removal spells in hand. Alright, can we get a land for Crowbacks here? Thesis. This is the card that I was saying when in the draft portion. I have no idea whether this card is bad or not. I've seen it be insane and I've seen it be terrible. We may see it be terrible here. Unless my opponent draws another tendrils, in which case we're going to see it be pretty solid. Another one of those. Attack with everything. It blocks something. Flashing the dude. Saying that it's going to be terrible. No damnation. No damnation. Yes. Woo! All right. I was getting worried for a second when I saw all of those removal spells off the top. I'm like, oh no, it's gonna happen. White Mane Lion though. Whew, timely. Timely lion. This also blows up lands. Just want to throw that out there. Probably not worth it. And my opponent has multiple Gravediggers. Like that kind of card. It's not called Gravedigger, but whatever. Okay, so let's suspend this guy. And we're gonna suspend the Shade. We actually want to kill this one. We want to Sandlance this one, and we want to Bound in Silent the other ones, because this one enables the other guy, right? This one enables the Gravedigger. Okay. So on end step, we're gonna Celestial Crusader. Then we're gonna tap and Shade. 4C. We win in tap and shade, and then we can protect whatever they want, or whatever we want with White Main Lion. Which is pretty dope. Put 1 card on the bottom and 3 cards on top. Then they draw 2. Crusader. Cast. Boom. We are protecting here. We're protecting. We may get there, actually. Interesting that they targeted that one. Cast that. Planes. Serve with everything. Down to 5. Cast Shade. Pass the turn. Even if the Tendril is probably the Celestial Crusader. Got there. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Mono white gets there. Almost the clean sweep. As I was saying, I thought our deck was pretty solid. This card overperformed. Like, it just... Man, like, Flash Split Second is such a busted set of abilities to have with an Anthem effect. Also, Mangara plus White Main Lion is just absolutely amazing. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the website here. Whether you're watching on YouTube or in the ICE website. Really appreciate you being here, and stay tuned for more content coming to you every single week. Bye bye. See you later.